Now, the parish church of St Lawrence in Biddulph has a very interesting history, more interesting than I realised when I was there. It dates back to pre-Norman times. After the Norman conquest of 1066, the land was divided and given to noblemen who had fought with William the Conqueror. But the name Biddulph has Saxon roots and means wolf killer, as hunting wolves was a dangerous sport. It stands on a site of a much earlier church, probably originally a small oak-built one, which is believed to have been destroyed by the Danes in 850 AD. And this was later replaced by a Saxon church, probably in stone, since the arch and the belfry are Saxon style. Grumpy-haired buggers up here. And during the Civil War between 1642 and 1651, the church was badly damaged by Cromwell's troops, and the stained glass windows were smashed out. But the vicar at the time collected the fragments and preserved them, and were later fitted into the east window, where they can still be seen. In the churchyard on the south side is this preaching stone. It dates from the time of the Black Death. And there are these 8 stone coffin lids which are set around the church and used as benches. They're said to be dating from the Crusades, with carved symbols reminiscent of Crusader carvings, and they're thought to have belonged to men who fought in the Crusades, but others think the symbols are simply depicting the trades or profession of the men. So, are the Knights Templars coffin lids or not? The sword and cross is representative of the Knights Templars. However, there's a lot of dispute as to whether they are not connected to the Templars or whether they are Norman style. So the jury's out on that. But there is an interesting local legend. It says that Richard the Forester went to fight in the Crusades in 1089, and that he returned with Saracen slaves, and they were said to be skilled stonemasons, and rumoured that they became involved in a number of building projects around the country. And they're also thought to have carved stones in this churchyard of St Lawrence, believed by many to be their work, but they've also been dated 300 years before the Crusades, adding even more confusion to the matter. Now, since my visit, I've been reading a book called The Dark Men of Biddulph Moor by Bill Civita, and it tells a story or legend of Alred Fitz Ormius, the youngest of 4 brothers who left for the Crusades to make his way in life, as being the youngest of 4 left him way down a pecking order. And it tells of him fighting the Saracens at Acre under the command of a knight, Roger de Montgomery, and he was knighted by no other than Richard the Lionheart himself for his deeds in battle. And it also says that when the Lionheart was going to put Saracen prisoners to the sword, captained by a Saracen tribesman called Hakim, Alred managed to get the king to spare the prisoners, as he had found favour with the Lionheart. And when Hakim realised the fate Alred had saved him and his men from, he swore allegiance to Alred and the other crusaders soon recognised him as a man of honour. Now, when it became obvious that the crusade was failing against Saladin, Alured offered Hakim his freedom. However, Hakim said that he had not satisfied his debt of honour and would return to England in his service. And legend also says that Hakim was secretly trusted with bringing the Holy Grail back to England and protecting it. And this was done by the knight Roger de Montgomery. And it was a plain wooden cup stained with age, wrapped in a silk cloth. Now the story goes that after about a year after their return to Biddulph, 3 suspicious strangers arrived. The Germanic knights, probably sent from the Pope, who were asking questions about a Saracen and English knight. And when they found Alured and Hakim, they had to fight and kill the 3 of the assassins. But Hakim, true to his word, did not tell Alured why the assassins had attacked them, as he had given his oath not to speak of the Grail. Now, while after that, while drinking one night, Alured recounted the legend of Elderly Edge and King Arthur with his 100 armoured knights on white steeds, how they slept in a secret cave ready to defend England in her hour of need. Now, this story gave Hakim the idea of hiding the wooden chalice in a secret cave protected by 100 knights. It was ideal. So the next day he set off to find the cave at Elderly Edge. Now, as he was wandering around Elderly Edge searching for the cave, he came upon an old bearded man who surprisingly knew his name. He also knew of the task to secure the chalice. It was Merlin. Now, Hakim eventually followed Merlin into the cave where King Arthur and the 100 knights were resting, waiting for the day they would be needed. And he deposited the wooden grail with the knights, and in return Merlin gave Hakim a silver unicorn pendant, saying that this will protect you and your bloodline as long as you keep the secret. Now, this was the start of the dynasty of the Dark Men of Biddulph Moor, founded by Saracen genes, and is said that swarthy men with the surname Bailey can still be found on the North Staffordshire moors. And to this day there's a hill on the moor called Bailey Hill, which reminds you that the land once belonged to the bailiff of the moor, Hakim the Saracen.